Change the rules or change the game, or learn the rules and play the game. What's up, guys? Jeff here from Grid City Fitness and Performance. Now, I'm holding Uno and I'm holding Scrabble. Both are basically board games, right? They're games that we play to win, okay? Now, the reason I'm using these is because we are playing a game, okay? And that game is the game of life. Now, that life, or that game of life, has rules. Those rules, to accomplish the outcome, must be followed or learned to play within so you can beat it, right? So let's take it back real quick. If I'm playing Uno, no one wants to stop playing Uno when they're winning, do they? They only want to stop playing Uno when they're losing. They're typically losing because they don't know the rules of this game. Now, because they don't know the rules of this game, they tend to lose. And when you lose at this game, you say, hey, I want to change the game, right? You hear everybody say that, I'm changing the game, changing the game. Well, the truth is, if I change the game, if I change from Uno to Scrabble, I'm not going to do any better playing this game than this game, or this game than this game, if I don't know the rules of Scrabble, right? Imagine this. I'm playing my fiance. Okay, so some of you guys may know my fiance. Now, if I'm playing the game against my fiance, and she knows both these games better than I do, okay? She knows both these games better than I do, and we're playing them. I'm going to get pissed off because I'm going to be like, whoa, why are you beating me? How are you beating me, right? I'm going to be like, shit, I want to change games. I don't want to play Uno anymore. I want to play Scrabble, because if I play Scrabble, I'm going to beat you. Well, the truth is, if my fiance knows both games better than me, who's going to win? It's not going to be me. It's going to be the person that knows the game and knows the rules better. Why is this? Let's go back again to Uno. There's a certain play that you can have inside of Uno in which you utilize your cards very, very strategically. Now, the person that knows the rules of the game understands how to play their cards very, very strategically, right? That person is going to beat the unstrategic person who doesn't know the rules of this game. Now, again, if I don't know the rules of the game, I'm not going to play the best, because the person that does know is going to outplay me, okay? So don't try and change the damn game. Don't try and say, oh man, I hate this, I suck and I'm losing, let's change this game. Why don't you just learn the goddamn rules? Learn the rules of this game, because no matter what you do, there's always going to be rules. And those rules will always be in effect, because again, no matter what game you play, Uno, Scrabble, Monopoly, Clue, Connect 4, Nintendo, Sony, whatever you play, no matter what game you play, football, the NFL, NBA, right? Life, there's rules. And those rules must be abided by to achieve the specific outcome. And when you follow the rules, you know who's playing and who is going to achieve the end outcome. Now, we just talked a whole lot about all this. So why is this really important? Because one of the key things that I get talked to or talked about with is fat loss, right? So what are the key rules around fat loss? Well, today I'm going to cover them very, very quickly. Because now you know to play this game of life, fat loss, results, outcomes, goal achievement, you must play by the rules. Now, again, it does suck to play by rules when you don't want to. But the truth is, to, again, win at Uno, to win at Scrabble, to win at Monopoly, to win at Mario Kart, I have to know how to play the game. And then I have to play by those rules to achieve that outcome. And fat loss is no different. Fat loss is no different than Uno, because it still has a set of rules and principles that must be followed to play the game correctly, to be able to win. And to win means to achieve your outcome. So let's talk about them. What are they? Okay. First rule of fat loss. First rule of fat loss is you must be in a calorie deficit. Okay, that's very easy to understand. You must have or be consuming less calories than you're utilizing or burning. The reason for this is because to be in a calorie deficit puts your body in a negative caloric intake. And to do that would then require the body to burn or utilize fat storage or excess calories as fuel. This helps offset weight gain, in conjunction losing weight, okay? Tip number 2 is Burn more muscle, or build more muscle, sorry. Don't burn it, build it. Build more muscle, right? Think of muscle much like wood on a fire. The more muscle I add to my body, okay, or muscle tone, right? So here's one thing. Ladies, if you're listening to this, you're like, shit, I don't want to gain muscle. I don't want to be big and bulky, okay? Realize this. Those bodies that you really, really love, the things that you look, the women that you also look at and say, oh my God, she's so toned. She's so sexy. I love the way she looks. Her arms and triceps look toned, or whatever it may be, right? You're saying this word toned, okay? Now, to say the word tones means something must be tone or tonic, right? To be active, okay? To be active, you must have something there. So what are you having there if you don't have muscle, right? You won't have anything. There would be bone and skin. Now, skin doesn't look good, right? You see those the older ladies that have the excess skin here? Okay, that's not a toned arm. That's not a toned muscle arm. That's arm skin, right? That's what happens when you lose a bunch of weight and don't have muscle. Things flop around, right? You got the bat wing, as some ladies that I've worked with have called it. Okay, so you must add muscle tone. The muscle tone is like adding wood to a fire. It helps make that fire larger, burns bigger, hotter, longer. Okay, very easy to understand there. Third tip of fat loss: you must recover. Now, one of the keys to recovery is sleep. Many of us do not sleep optimally nor sleep enough. Many of us are sleep deprived. We're running on caffeine pills and energy drinks and coffee. So one of the key things to fat loss and a rule around fat loss is you must recover and get better sleep. Ways to do this, guys: sleep with an eye mask, blacked out curtains, blacked out room. Sleep with earplugs in so you're not being woke up to everything. Try and turn or stop utilizing technology an hour to 2 hours before bed. Don't lay in bed and watch TV or play on your phone. Make sure that you're trying to not take stimulants close to bedtime or many hours before bedtime, right? Those are a couple key things that you can utilize right away, all right? Fourth thing around fat loss, now this is going to be kind of counterintuitive, but don't drink your calories, okay? One of the big problems for many people is that they're drinking a lot of stuff and not calculating that into your caloric intake. Right? Consider this. If I go to Starbucks and get a caramel frappuccino, which is something someone gets, I've actually heard some lady ordering it with 12 shots of vanilla. Can you imagine that? 12 shots of fucking vanilla. That's a lot. Like, I think the regular 6, it's a lot. That's pretty excessive. But think that I go and get that, right? That's at least 200 calories. It's actually probably more. I have no idea because I haven't looked, but I can guarantee it's at least 200 calories. So imagine this. Every day I have one of those. Over 7 days, that's 1,400 excess calories. Over the course of 2 weeks, that's 2,400 calories, or 2,800 calories. And over the course of 3 weeks, that's almost 4,200 calories. Yeah, 4,200 calories. Now, to gain 1 pound of body fat, you need to consume an excess of 3,500 calories. Guess what? After 2.5 weeks, you've increased your body weight by 1 pound, all because you were drinking calories. So if you are consuming calories, well, actually, if you're consuming anything, you should be recording it and tracking it. But if you're recording anything other than diet sodas and water, or if you're not recording any of those things, you need to be, because you're probably not getting true, accurate numbers. All right? Fifth is going to be maximize your workout efficiency. Okay? Workout efficiency is very, very key here, because to burn fat, you need to be burning calories, and you need to be burning calories for an extended period of time. There's a principle called EPOC, EPOC. It stands for exercise post-oxygen consumption. It means how much oxygen do you consume post-exercise. Basically, as we burn to burn calories, we consume and break down or utilize oxygen to do parts of these things. Okay, the elevation and increase of oxygen post-exercise is what elevates our heart rate, elevates our metabolism, and sustains a higher level of caloric burn for a longer sustained period of time. So the more strenuous or taxing during the workout session, something like high-intensity interval training, what we do here at Grit City Fitness and Performance, that will help you increase your EPOC, which increases your overall metabolism and metabolic burn. Now, consider this. Most of our calories are burned during times of non-exercise. Wow, That's very shocking, right? Could you imagine that you're burning calories throughout the whole entire day? You're burning calories at every single minute and second you are alive. Now, we might think that we're only burning calories when we work out, but that's one facet of it. As we already talked about, your body has muscle, right? So to create an increase epoch, we want to increase muscle, right? This second rule of fat loss and this fifth or sixth rule of fat loss go hand in hand, because when you increase your heart rate and metabolism through high intensity exercise, you also stimulate the muscle to, again, grow and be stimulated, which now is like kindling that's burning hotter and brighter and bigger and more powerful, right? So think about these. Now, again, let's go back to what this whole thing started with. Rules around games. Don't change the game, because you ain't going to play a new game any better if you don't understand the rules of the game, okay? So let's go back one more layer. Or actually, let's take one step forward. Now let's talk about fat loss. We've already went over the 5 or 6 rules around fat loss. Now, no matter whether you're doing keto, zone, paleo, low carb, high protein, whatever the hell you're doing, the cookie diet, the detox diet, those 5 or 6 rules always apply. The only difference is they come in a different order on the package. Meaning, rule number 1 may be rule number 3 in the keto diet, but rule number 1 is number 2 in the zone diet. And rule number 1 right now is rule number 1. They all play the same exact rules. Now, a great way for you guys to actually think about this in a little bit better context is if we're not playing actually Uno, but we have an actual deck of cards. If I'm playing a game with a deck of cards, all games require a rule around having the deck of cards, okay? So every fat loss process requires the same 5 rules we just went over. After that, it has more rules. Now, it's about following the 5 key rules and then enjoying the rest of the process. If we can hit those 5 keys, you've built the biggest structure, framework, and understanding to be able to follow, improve, and see a result with what you're doing. So again, don't change the game. Don't try and change it at all. Just get better at understanding the game that you're playing and play that game, or learn the rules really, really well and learn that game so you can play that game like a master. Or learn the rules and learn how to play the game so you also learn how to cheat the game to where people don't notice, right? That's one of the other tricks of success, is knowing how to be really, really good inside of the rules but never play outside the boundaries, right? Being able to almost cheat where people think you're always cheating, but really you're just really damn good at knowing the rules, right? Consider it like this. If you know there's one stretch of freeway where you can go really, really fast, and then there's certain key spots where you can't, you know a rule in which you can go fast inside that piece. Utilize it. That would be cheating to other people. They'd say, oh, you're speeding in that area. You could say, no, I'm not speeding. I just know that the rule is I can go X, Y, Z speed at this place, and you're following this other rule. That's not the actual rule. You would be considered cheating. So learn the rules of the game so you can cheat better in other people's minds. That's it, guys. Don't change the game. Don't say fuck the game. Don't try and figure it out differently. Just learn the damn rules of the game that you're playing and play those rules to all-out success. Follow the 5 principles that we laid out, the 5 rules around fat loss, and you're going to have the best framework you need for optimal performance, results, and fat loss.